I think a lot of us have a bad habit of waiting. Maybe you're waiting for all of the ideal circumstances in your life. You're waiting for a certain level of support. You're waiting for the kids to get older. You're waiting for things to settle down at your job. But my question for you is what if that season never comes? What if the thing you're waiting for before you get started does not come? Because what I've noticed in my own life and in the lives of the women that I'm coaching is that the transformation that we're looking for is not going to happen if we stay in this waiting pattern. We need to stop waiting for perfect conditions and just start taking small, consistent steps. Today, we're talking about why 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking, 5 minutes may be all you need to get started. The focus is going to be in the area of our fitness. If the doctor has ever told you that you need to start exercising, that you need to get a gym membership, if you are not happy with your current weight, how your clothes are fitting, your mobility, how you're feeling in your body, going up steps is a challenge, getting up and down off of the couch, or you're starting to shrink back from some of your social engagements because you're feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, and for whatever reason you are waiting to get started, then this episode is for you. Welcome to the Well Women Flourish podcast. I'm Alexis, certified personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and flourishing life coach. Here is where we talk about fitness, nutrition, mindset, and having sustainable habits to help us become healthier, stronger, and more intentional women. Today, I want to challenge the belief that you need more time, more motivation, or a different season of life before you can prioritize your health, specifically your physical health. What I want you to know is that life is not waiting for you, and neither is your health. A thing that I've noticed, not just with the women I'm coaching, but also with myself, is that there's always some imaginary destination I'm waiting for, imaginary circumstances that I'm waiting for to be exactly in order before I can get started with a thing. Then work gets busy, your family needs you, schedules change, unexpected things come up. And before we know it, another week, month, quarter, year has gone by and we have not done anything for ourselves. And it's not because we don't care, and it's certainly not because we're lazy. But somehow we've convinced ourselves that if we can't do it perfectly and the timing is not exactly right, that it's not worth doing at all. And that's exactly what's happening with our fitness as well. Most fitness plans don't fail because they're ineffective. They fail because they're not sustainable. We get a whim, or it's the beginning of the year, or it's the first Sunday, Monday of the month, it's our birthday, whatever special day it is, and we decide, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm going to be meal prepping on Sundays. I'm drinking a gallon of water every day, and I'm never eating dessert again. The problem isn't that those habits are bad. The problem is trying to do them all at once, because life doesn't pause while we're trying to improve ourselves. When we throw this bucket of things into our lives that we say we're going to make improvements on, the brain is actually really overwhelmed. There's a book that I read. It's something about the habit of five. I have to look up what the book is, but our brains can actually only handle like two things at a time. If you are going to make radical changes in your life by throwing them all onto yourself at one time, you are actually overwhelming your system, and it's unlikely that you're going to be consistent. When we set up these unattainable, and let me not say they're unattainable, but when we set up these multifaceted transformation plans where we're working on our sleep, exercise, meal prep, hydration. We're meditating. We're doing all of these things, and we're going to do them 6 days a week. If we have not adjusted anything in our lives, we've not done any work to set boundaries with our families, none of those things have happened. You're going to come up against a wall when you're trying to get to the gym and your family's demanding X, Y, and Z request, or you're in your meditation practice and someone's knocking on the door asking you, where's the butter? whatever it is that pulls on you whenever you set these intentions is going to continue happening if we have not done the work to set these boundaries and make a sustainable plan. So, my recommendation is always to just do one or two things. And since we want to focus on the fitness aspect, I'm going to share with you later on about this 5 minute plan that I think is a small change that can lead to big transformation. Another thing about creating these unsustainable plans is that we have an all or nothing mindset about it. So, maybe you do the things, maybe you set out to do these things and you're consistent for a few days, but you miss a day and then you're just like, "Oh, I'm a failure. I didn't do my walk today." And then we just throw everything out and don't restart. Have grace with yourself. Be kind and encourage yourself. Can just start fresh the next opportunity that you have. You'll say, "Oh, I missed Monday, so the whole week is ruined." A lot of people think, "I don't have enough time. 5 minutes isn't enough. What's the point?" Or I already made a choice, a bad choice for lunch, so I'll just start over next month. One cookie does not ruin your month. One muffin does not ruin the month. Just be willing to restart the next opportunity that you get. This all or nothing mindset is part of what is derailing our plans a lot of the time. Keep this in mind. Your health and longevity isn't going to be built on the perfect days. It's going to be built on your ordinary days. And you just have enough ordinary days strung together where you're doing these basic habits of staying hydrated, intentionally moving your body, getting adequate sleep, and focusing on your mindset, having a positive mindset. String enough of those days together and you're going to move the needle forward to live the life that I know we all want to live. Now let's talk about your identity and habits. Habit formation is so important. Like I said, we want to string enough of these ordinary days of just keeping up these beneficial habits together. And that repetition is what's going to get that neural pathway going and get you wired for success. Lasting change isn't built through intensity. So you don't need an hour-long workout 6 days a week for the next 6 months. That is way too intense. But if you did 5 minutes consistently every day and start to string those habits and that confidence in yourself, that's where you're going to see the strength. That's where you're going to build evidence of your new identity because that's what we're doing here. We're building our identity as a person, a woman who is taking care of her health, a woman who is focused on having a strong, healthy lifestyle, being mobile, energized, and engaged in her life. Let's talk about why 5 minutes does matter. I'm not saying that 5 minutes is going to completely transform your body overnight. Please, let's be clear, it won't. But 5 minutes is going to transform your relationship with consistency. I'm going to say that again. The 5 minutes is going to transform your relationship with consistency. It's going to help you to build integrity with yourself to say that I set out to do 5 minutes, I did the 5 minutes. Now you're building integrity and trust with yourself. 5 minutes is going to remove the biggest obstacle that I'm noticing most women face, and that's just getting started. So, what's an action step you can take today? Find one, just one 5 minute window in your schedule, not an hour, not 30 minutes, 5 minutes, and commit to moving your body during that time. You can go for a walk, you can stretch, you can do a short workout, you can dance in your kitchen. It doesn't matter. What I want you to do is take 5 minutes, set a timer, and keep the promise to yourself. I love what Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10 reminds us is to not despise these small beginnings. Do not despise these small beginnings. So often we overlook small actions because they don't seem significant enough. But God loves to work through our small beginnings. 5 minutes may seem insignificant today, but I promise you, when you repeat it and you string together these 5 minute, 5 minute, 5 minute promises to yourself, building that integrity, building your relationship with consistency, this becomes stewardship and that becomes transformation. If you'd like to be accountable and get some support as you're building consistency, I would love for you to join me in the 26 Days of Movement Challenge. Each day, you'll receive encouragement, a simple workout, and a practical way that you can help yourself to build consistently and just show up for yourself. You don't have to figure this out all by yourself. Sometimes the difference between starting and staying consistent is simply having support. And it's my honor and a privilege to show up for you in this way and be supportive on your health and wellness journey. I invite you to text me. The number is 929-379-6716. Text that number with the word MOVE26 to join the 26 Days of Movement Challenge. Now, maybe you're wondering why 26 days? Why not a 30-day challenge like most people are doing? Well, because that gives you 4 days grace. Most months have 30 days. So that gives you 4 days of grace to have life happen, something pops up, maybe you miss the five minutes and begin again the next day. So that's our 26 days of movement. Text the word MOVE 26 to the number 929-379-6716 to join in. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. It's just putting way too much pressure on us and the people in our lives. Let's become women who understand that the small actions we take can help to shape the big outcomes in our lives. Let's just start with 5 minutes. Keep the promise, build the habit, and let's see what happens over time. Until next time, keep flourishing. Thanks for joining me on the Well Women Flourish podcast. If this episode encouraged you, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and come back for our next conversation. Until then, take care of yourself, stay grounded, and keep flourishing.